What's up? What's up? What's up, family? What's up? Welcome back to another video. So today we're having a real conversation, and I mean real. Not a gossip piece, not fake outrage. We're breaking down something that's honestly embarrassing for the WNBA. And it has been embarrassing for the WNBA for we don't know how long, but it has been a consistent embarrassing for the league and the franchise as a whole. And as always, family, I'm here to have a conversation with you guys and keep it real. And even more than that, it's just dangerous. And I'm talking about DiJonai Carrington, right? She her eye rake incident that just happened a few games ago into this season. And yes, if you've seen the clip, you know what I'm talking about. It looks bad, and I'm talking about that like that can't be real level bad. 3 games into the WNBA season, that's it. 3. And somehow Carrington is already in headlines again for putting her acrylic fingernails from getting her nails done, more specifically, all up in another player's face. Now, just to refresh memories, this happened last year, right? In regards of DiJonai Carrington, when it came to this whole eye gouging situation with Caitlin Clark, right? And I wanted you guys to see in its entirety, right? Boop, like a teardrop, went right into raking into Caitlin Clark's eye, right? So now that we got that out the way, let's talk about the more recent incident of this season because that was last year's season. And the crazy part is there's a pattern here. There's a pattern. Whether you love her game or not, you cannot deny that this is the second time in under a year that Carrington's name has come up in connection with what looks like a blatant eye gouge. And that's not normal basketball behavior. I don't care what era you grew up in. This ain't Dennis Rodman tipping over a cameraman or Rasheed Wallace barking at a ref. This is someone literally scraping across another player's face. That crosses a line. And if you don't see nothing, I'm curious to get you guys' thought on why you think that doesn't cross the line to you literally raking someone's eye. First of all, the acrylics in its entirety should not be allowed. This is sports. That's just my opinion. Do it off the court, you're able to get your nails done, but on the court, no. And I know my ladies can vouch for me, and my fellas, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's some women that even work in unit secretary jobs. You know, I have family members who are ladies in the family who work at the desk and they can't have their nails done due to upholding a professionalism when it comes to representing that company. So what's the difference between basketball and the WNBA? Because it's still a company, let alone a franchise. So I want you guys to see the clip now in regards to the incident when she played against. If you look at it, family, her coming from behind like that. Let's say if Danjanae Carrington was going full sprint, she couldn't control her body. Number 15, which is Shepard, who had the ball, and DiJonai Carrington going running behind her like that to so-called swat and then hit her head and all of that. Literally, that's dangerous. Because let's say she was going full sprint, DiJonai Carrington body would have forced her forward to eventually her head could have hit something. And we all know when it comes from a basketball defensive standpoint, the smartest way to defend and get a stop is to be in front. You already have number 5 defending her who's falling with Shepard. So why you coming from behind like you just going and if you going for a block, I never knew that the best way to play basketball is staying in front of her. If you wasn't in front of her, then let the player who gonna get the foul anyway, which is your teammate already defending her to her best of her ability from the side. Because like I say, either way you put it, DiJonai Carrington and her teammate was not in front of Shepard. That's how she blew past them, cut through, and got the ball in the first place, and then got the layup. But I get it. You want to foul, you want to challenge them more at the free throw line than to give up an easy 2 layups. So look at this, man. From a basketball IQ standpoint, when you're contesting a shot, your hands go up, not out. Defense is about position and footwork and anticipation. You're trying to affect the shot, not injure the shooter, is where I'm getting at here. But if you look at Carrington's motion in this clip that we just seen, she's not going vertical to block. Her hand coming across someone's face, finger spread. That's not good defense. All in all, this is not good defense. That's reckless at best, and at worst, it's intentional. From what I'm looking at, it's intentional. Look, so we're not talking about hand fighting in the post or a little bump or on a drive. This is a facial rake coming from behind like this, like arching over her head. And you can't sell that it's just she just playing hard type of rhetoric because you can't even say look at the defense, it's trash. Now let's think big picture wise, right? What's the message the WNBA is sending by not addressing this? They're cracking down on technicals for players who say the wrong thing, but when someone swipes across another player's face, nothing. No flagrant, no ejection. And she did get a flagrant one, for what I recall. No post game suspensions. Think about that, right? Because she did it with Caitlin Clark, as I showed you last year. So in the NBA, even an accidental eye poke can lead to a flagrant one or two. And like I said, DiJonai Carrington, just to you know, I'm not going to sit there and say something that's not factual. DiJonai Carrington did get a flagrant one, but depending on how it lands in the NBA, is a flagrant one or flagrant two. I've seen Draymond Green on the Golden State Warriors get suspended for less. And the NBA doesn't even allow jury on the court because of how easy it is to injure someone. So why are WNBA players out there with 2-inch acrylics in live game action? Now, let me be clear. I'm not here to demonize DiJonai Carrington at all. I'm not here to cancel her or start a witch hunt. I'm here to hold players in the league accountable to a standard. This league wants to grow. It wants to respect the viewership, the broadcast deals. Cool. But growth doesn't come when people are questioning whether they're watching basketball or a reality TV fight scene. It comes with professionalism, clear rules, and consistent enforcement. Here's what this says to me. All right. There is a lack of leadership at the top of the WNBA right now. When something like this happens twice and there's no firm statement from Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, no obvious action taken, it sends a message that players can do whatever they want. Now, it has been ongoing issue with these refs, and it's still an ongoing issue. But I'll leave that for another video because with the Indiana Fever, they haven't been seeming to get no fouls. And the Indiana Fever head coach, Stephanie White, has been speaking up about that. And even to take it a step further, what was the WNBA player that got locked up in Russia? I don't remember her name, but I remember her by that incident, an unfortunate incident. She got locked up in Russia. Britney Grinder. She was very unprofessional, and she came out and was even frustrated with the refs and had such has had said some very very wild profanity. But I am making a point here to substantiate my point that there's ongoing issues that the WNBA keeps um pushing under the rug and not addressing, and then they wonder why the league is having self-inflicted wounds on its own to not be lucrative. Um let me see, cuz she told the refs you can do better. Be effing better. She told them. Um, and she was very frustrated because the refs wasn't calling no fouls. And that has been an ongoing thing that Caitlin Clark, when it comes to the Indiana Fever, has been known for, making known since last year. And they still haven't addressed that either. So these wild fouls from DiJonai Carrington and these, see, she says, trash. No, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. Not that. I don't like that. That's not the point I'm making. This is the video I'm talking about, family. First of all, this is just disrespectful in its entirety. This is unacceptable. These behaviors from these players and these referees need to get addressed, is what I'm talking about. I read the clip too fast, but um That's just bad sportsmanship. That's just bad character altogether. I do not like that at all. Um, Britney Grinder behavior has been also a reckless one. But this is my point, what I was trying to say. She was left, this was May 24th. So this was 3 days ago. This was literally on Saturday, this past Saturday of this weekend. And she was doing an interview and she wanted to ask the ref what was going on with the foul, like why they didn't call a foul. And she was trying to understand about holding. So, and she was saying she take accountable when she do foul and she put her hands up. So then she told them to be effing better. Now I understand the frustration. Should she have addressed it and spoken that profanity? No, that's very unprofessional. But what I'm saying, this league has some issues they need to address, and they keep not addressing them, and they wonder why the league isn't lucrative on its own. It's relying on NBA owners to continue to fund this WNBA league franchise. But this behavior from the players, these reckless conduct on the court and off the court in interviews, she should have done the interview professionally, continued through with the interview, or professionally excuse herself for a second to ask the referee something, or she should have done the interview first. The referees ain't going nowhere. She could have talked to the referees before the interview because I'm sure they gave her time to get situated after the game was over. But not to get off topic. That's another issue. So these reckless fouls and these reckless behavior from these players and these reckless fouls that's not being addressed and these referees not calling out the fouls is a problem. And that's where the lack of leadership I say comes in from Kathy Engelbert. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong. I'm just having a conversation, family, talking basketball. So look at it from this. If the league wants to promote toughness, I'm all for it. Watching the Bad Boy Pistons, that wasn't my era, but I went back in time and did some of my little bit of NBA education and basketball education when it comes to the men's league. And I'm just getting in more into the women's leagues, as you guys see. And it's been like a year since I've been really tuning in to the WNBA more and more and more. But from the Bad Boy Pistons era with Charles Oakley, you know, throw people across the line. But there was a line. Everyone knew it. What Carrington is doing, DiJonai Carrington, that's not tough. That's dirty. Unsafe. It's not safe for DiJonai Carrington or the opponent, the opposite team. In this case, Shepard, number 15 on the Minnesota Lynx. So, um, and if someone's keep getting if someone's going to get seriously hurt if this continues, is where I'm getting at. So let's even go even deeper. What happens if this isn't addressed and a player suffers a serious eye injury? I'm talking about scratch cornea, retinal damage, long-term vision problems. Are we prepared for the fallout then? Are we ready for lawsuits, WNBA? PR disasters? Because I promise you, that's where this can head if nothing changes. And we all got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? No league is perfect. No person is perfect. But you can't market the league around star players like Caitlin Clark and then sit on your hands when one of them nearly gets her eye gouged out. That's hypocrisy. That's negligence. Some people online are calling Carrington DeJounay Scissorhands. And while it may be a joke, obviously it's some truth to it. If we remove the joke, you can't be wearing nails like that and get your hands near someone's eyes without consequences. It's common sense. If an MMA fighter pokes someone in the eye, they get a warning. Do it again, and the fight can be called off. Because that's how serious this is. It's not a fashion issue, it's a safety issue. Now let's pause and talk about accountability culture. If I'm seeing people on social media, and I have been seeing flip this around like Carrington is the victim, like she's just being picked on, but that doesn't fly. When your play crosses the line, when your hands are in someone's face, and don't get me wrong, it happens, man. It happens. Your hands may be flinging around, you moving, you're shuffling, you're playing defense. Look, I done got my contact ripped out. Someone poked my not mistakenly, I was going up for the layup and their hand just happened. They went up to block the shot and it just happened to hit my eye going up real quick, reflex wise. But they were in front of me, hands straight up, trying to go anticipate for their hands to go straight up to block me, to defend me in front of me correctly. But look, when your hands are in someone's face, you're not being targeted, you're being watched. And if you don't want the attention, change how you play and remove the acrylics from your nails. This isn't a man versus woman thing. It's not about race. It's not about it's about righting wrong. It's about right and wrong in professional sports. The league can't keep ignoring this under excuse of growing pains. Okay. And let me ask this. If the league wants more eyes, more fans, more respect, is this the image you want to lead with? Players with sharp nails swiping at eyeballs, taunting after dangerous plays, while the league office says nothing. You want fans to tune in and support, but you don't want to protect the players they came to see. The WNBA has a real opportunity right now to step up. They're on ESPN. They got new viewers. The rookies are excited. But the window to capitalize on that interest is small. And if the narrative becomes the WNBA is unsafe or they let their players get away with dirty plays, that window closes fast. You can't afford that. So what's the fix? First, nail length needs to be regulated, okay? It's not even debatable anymore. Second, any contact above the shoulders, especially near the eyes, should be automatic flagrant one. And if it's reviewed and found intentional, suspend the player. No favoritism, no passes. Third, coaches need to be held responsible for repeated player behavior. If a player is doing this more than once, then that's a team. It may be a team culture issue. And lastly, leadership needs to speak. Silence from the commissioner is the worst possible look right now. But let's wrap it up here. I want to hear your thoughts. And let me see if I can get another clip because if I'm not mistaken, um, let me see, because this is how it went down with the whole situation. It was a wild play, you know. That Shepherd, that is a wild play. Um, wow. But let me mute it. And this was so there you had that one. So that was that. Um, so yeah, it was just wild, man. It was just wild play. But yeah, let's wrap it up here. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Real hoopers, real fans. Is this the kind of play acceptable in today's game? Should the league be stepping in more aggressively? And should players like Carrington face consequences? Or is this part of the game? Drop your comments below. This channel is about real conversations, not fake outrage. And if you care about the growth of the WNBA, which I do most importantly and truly care, then speak up. Support it by holding it accountable, just like we hold any other league, because respect doesn't come from silence, it comes from standards. Appreciate you for watching, family. And if you got value from this breakdown, hit that like, subscribe, and share this video. More real talk, more hoops, more accountability coming your way. Until next time, stay sharp, play smart, and also, family, respect the game. So, no further ado, peace. Love you.